It's 8 o'clock. It's October 27th. And welcome to the weather update. And we did get a few breaks of sun, but more or less the clouds prevailed today. A few breaks here and there, but not really too much sun today. A lot more in the way of clouds, but at least it was dry. And now we got a little bit of rain, light rain that's trying to move into the area. So we're going to take a look at that on the screen here. And you can see here, actually, let's use the wider view. You can see some light rain moving in. I think this is associated with another front that's approaching the area, I think. You can see this rain here coming in. And yeah, I will look at the Weather Prediction Center. I'm pretty sure it is definitely some rain coming in there with a little bit of a front. Let's see what we got here on the weather map. So, well, it's like a trough. It's not really a front. It's like a little trough over there that's developed, I guess. It's bringing some rain. But you can see they got the stall front off to the south. That's the problem. And there is what has now Tropical Storm Zeta. It's weakened a little bit after its encounter with the Yucatan. However, I think it's going to strengthen once again. Looking across the country here, you'll see on this side, this secondary low here is causing a lot of winter weather. So if we put surface observations up and we put the radar up, you will see that there's snowfall, at least below freezing over here. And so they're getting this one low over here, and then Zeta is over here. Let's see if we can get some observations from the Zeta, any buoy observations. Really can't see anything from this, but as it comes in, we'll see more. But you clearly see the circulation there, and warnings are up for that area, it looks like. And for our area, we're just dealing with more of the same, with 50s, slight rain there. Temperatures in the 50s today, got up closer to 60, and dew points in the mid-40s. So at least it's a little drier air. But if you look to the south, you'll see some dew points in the 50s. So there's some moist air over here. And that's association with this weak trough, I guess, that's coming through that we're dealing with right now. So let's go to the latest from the National Hurricane Center on Zeta. It's a tropical storm, but a very strong tropical storm, and it will become a hurricane again. Zeta is forecast to strengthen and bring hurricane conditions and dangerous storm surge to a portion of the northern Gulf Coast tomorrow. So, yes, landfall will be tomorrow. It's located, as of 7 p.m., located 23.2 north, 90.8 west, about 480 miles south-southwest of the mouth of the Mississippi River. Maximum sustained winds are 65 miles an hour, moving northwest at 14 miles an hour. So it's starting to pick up movement now. And the minimum sun suppression, 990 millibars, or 29.23 inches. We are looking at, we're going to look at the cone here. And you'll see here that it appears, yeah, we got hurricane warnings in effect for much of Louisiana and Mississippi, much of the eastern part of Mississippi, Louisiana, that would include New Orleans and Mississippi. Tropical storm warnings in effect for part of Mississippi and into the extreme western part of the Florida Panhandle. And this thing will become a hurricane again. We're going to look at what it looks like on the satellite right now. And you'll see here so waiting for it to load. It's a little slow, but see, it weakened as it went over the Yucatan. But now it is gaining its strength back very quickly. You can see all the convection around it. So this thing will gain all its strength back and then some, I think, because it's over the Gulf, which is a very favorable environment for tropical storms and hurricanes to form with those warm water temperatures still very warm. I want to look at some of the other plots. Let's look at the visible into shortwave. You can clearly see that convection right there. So see that convection popping up right there around the center. There it is. And then comes, yep, you can clearly see it. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with right now. This storm will intensify, and it is intensifying. And it could undergo rapid intensification. We're going to back this up to the models here. And looking at the chart here, it's keeping it very close to New Orleans, shifted maybe a tad east again. But it's keeping it very close to New Orleans. So New Orleans, that whole New Orleans area, this area right here of Louisiana and Mississippi, is going to have to really be careful here. And then the remnants of it will move probably just to our south, the center of the remnants. So if we look at the track again, you will see that the Hurricane Center has this landfalling Wednesday evening, most likely. And it's going to intensify, I think. If we look at the intensity guidance here, you will see a good chunk of some of the models don't take it back up to a Cat 1. I think it will easily get back up to a Cat 1, if not more. And you cannot underestimate these things. You cannot underestimate them at all. So, speaking of the models, let's go over to the models right now. And we're going to go to the southeast. And we will look at what they have with Zeta. All right, this is the GFS, the 18Z GFS now. All right, so there is Zeta, Tropical Storm Zeta, probably becoming Hurricane Zeta again. And you can see it strengthens it. It definitely strengthens it. You can see it's getting tighter, it's getting deeper. And it looks like it makes a direct hit on New Orleans. That would be Wednesday night, direct hit on New Orleans. So tomorrow night, we'd be dealing with a direct hit on New Orleans, and then it moves inland. And then we deal with the remnants for us. All right, but we're focusing right now on the impacts to the Louisiana coast and New Orleans. So let's take a look at the wind on this, and look at that. That's pretty intense. So you can see it definitely strengthens it, and this is every bit of a strong Category 1, maybe even a Category 2. I can't even say that Category 3 isn't out of the question. This would be a bad scenario for New Orleans. It's looking more and more likely that this time, after getting away with not getting a direct hit, it looks like New Orleans will finally get a direct hit of a hurricane, perhaps a major hurricane. And this would be, again, Wednesday night. So let's look at some of the other models here. We're going to look at the NAM 12 kilometer. So this is the NAM. Seems a lot weaker than the GFS. The NAM keeps it the NAM doesn't really strengthen, but even the NAM strengthens it, but not as much as the GFS. The NAM is really weak with this. Way too weak, in my opinion. That's going to be an outlier, I think. Timing is the same, the track's the same, but the NAM's strength is much, much less than some of the other models that we've seen here. And we'll go ahead and look at it on this as well. Just doesn't have it as wrapped up as much, and honestly, I'm not buying that at all. I'm not buying that at all, because if you look at it on the satellite, you could see it's undergoing some pretty significant strengthening. It'll probably be a hurricane, probably even after midnight tonight. It'll probably be a hurricane again. Let's look at the HRRR. This is the HRRR, 23Z HRRR. Of course, this doesn't go that far out. I only have out to a little bit here. We can go to the 22Z run, which will go out a little further. And again, it's not that strong, the HRRR. It doesn't really give it its strength back, and I don't know if I'm really buying that at this point. Look at the wind field. Yeah, it's just not all that impressive on the HRRR. And again, I'm just not buying it. I think that it's thinking because of the season that it's not going to strengthen, but I think it will, and I think the GFS has a much better idea of it than some of these other models. We'll go ahead and look at the ICON model as well. So this is the ICON model. Also, not terribly strong. And again, timing, ICON seems a little fast. Actually brings it in more like in the afternoon tomorrow. Might be a little too fast, I think. So I think the GFS, and there's another model we'll look at, and that's the GFS Para. So this is the parallel GFS. And this is, again, I think got a much better handle on the storm. There seems to be an agreement between the parallel and the regular GFS as to how bad this is going to be. And there's that landfall right there over New Orleans. Right, the eye is going to go right over New Orleans, according to this track, and it's looking quite likely at this point that that is exactly what is going to happen with this storm. And next we'll show you the upper air pattern that's giving us this. So I'm going to change this to the North American view, and we will go and we'll look at the upper air pattern again, which is basically steering all this. So this is the inland low, and this is the tropical system here. This is Zeta. So you see what happens? It gets pulled in. Actually, it gets pulled in by the inland low, and then once it gets pulled in, it's going to get absorbed into this low right here, and it could wind up getting a little bit of extra strength from that, intensifying perhaps this main low that's coming in, and bringing us that heavy rain and wind for Friday. It's gonna just be, you always get these, always around Halloween. You always usually get an intense storm, and then I'm not even gonna go past that point, but too much. But you'll see after that we get a little ridging, and then another big trough the next week. Look at that. So finally, it looks like we're getting to see a pattern change here. Hopefully, it sticks, and we get some cold air in here and some real fall-like conditions. We will on the weekend. It looks like again for next week that's a pretty deep trough right there. All right, but I don't really want to get too much past the weekend because we're just going to focus on what's going on with Zeta right now. So let's go to the CONUS view, and we're going to look at the surface here. So you get an idea of where this is going. So you got this low over here, and then you have Zeta. All right, so what's going to happen is you can see it's almost like a double barrel system. You have the center of Zeta bringing the heavy rains to us probably Thursday into Thursday night, and then you have this little piece of energy that's left behind with the secondary low that is going to keep the rain going until probably Friday afternoon, and then it could end as a little, you notice that little blue there, it could end as a little bit of snow over our area. And then we have the high build in, bring us a sunny and cold day on Saturday, and then we have another frontal system passing an even bigger high. This one's huge, and that one would bring some really cold air into the picture. If we were to look at the temperatures, you would see the temperatures would drop quite a bit. We'll just mark this out here so you get an idea how that cold blast air, we're going to be knocking it out of the 40s on one of those days probably. That's pretty much what it looks like there. And again, by looking at, you can kind of see where the tropical system is, and all that tropical air luckily kind of stays to the south of us. So let's go to windy.com, and we'll look at we'll go ahead and we will look at Zeta on this and the European model. So here we are, Tuesday, 8 p.m. So I'm going to move this to 12 p.m. And you will see here that it is giving it back some strength. So 84. So strong category 1 is what the Euro thinks. And that's what I'm thinking. Probably won't make it to category 2. I mean, I'm not going to say you can't put anything out of it because lately, you know, sometimes you see this rapid intensification and goes well beyond what the models are saying. But again, you could see that landfall occurring tomorrow night, with the center going directly over New Orleans, and you can see there the winds there. It looks like it's got a 64 over New Orleans. So that's the load here. And it's not showing it, but I'll just, yeah, it's got a 65 over New Orleans, so 79. So, you know, they'll be getting a hurricane. It may probably not a major hurricane, but again, there's a lot of things that can happen, you know, and you can see these winds are going to cause, and they're going to cause a storm surge, which is the biggest issue for New Orleans is storm surge. So if we look at the waves, you will see the storm surge that this thing is going to generate. And out at sea, you're going to have waves probably at 20 feet or higher, 24 feet. So that storm surge, that wind is going to push that water into New Orleans. And as we know, New Orleans is a very low lying, like a bowl. And you can kind of see how it's getting pulled into New Orleans, and there could be a lot of flooding. This will be probably the most significant storm New Orleans has faced since Katrina. Again, we'll have to see what happens with that. But you can see once it's inland, the wind should fade, but the rain won't, and that rain is going to continue. as we head. Now I'm going to move this back, and we're going to look at this on the GFS. So this is the GFS interpretation now of of Hurricane Zeta, Tropical Storm Zeta, and you will see again. It does intensify it, and intensifies it. Maybe it looks like a little more little more than. Yeah, look at this. So the GFS seems to want to explode this thing, and look at that. Right over New Orleans, you could have winds over 100 miles an hour. So this would be a bad scenario, and like I said, it's entirely possible this could happen. And this could be like a Category 2 or Category 3 hurricane hitting New Orleans instead of a Category 1. That the possibility is still there. The GFS, the Euro indicated, then it took it away. GFS is now indicating this is what could happen as it makes that landfall, and that would be very bad for New Orleans tomorrow night. And then it finally moves inland, and we're not dealing with as much wind, but the rain again will continue. So let's go back to our area, and we're going to look at the impacts of Zeta on our weather as we deal. So let's go to the precipitation. So you'll see we got this little bit of light rain over here over us. This is tomorrow. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is tomorrow. My mistake. So yeah, GFS seems to indicate we may have some light rain around in the first part of the day, and then the rains from Zeta come in on Thursday. There's the low from Zeta that's moving offshore. You can see the isobars are kind of tight, so there'll be some wind with that. I mean, nothing that's going to cause damage, and enough that between all the rain and the onshore flow, there could be some coastal flooding in low-lying areas. And then there's that secondary low, and you can see that snow just to the north of us there, and it might wind up ending as a snowflake or two Friday afternoon because it's going to get pretty cold as well. And we can actually look at total snowfall and see if this is actually producing any accumulation. And again, the mountain areas might actually wind up getting some accumulation out of it. So just in the mountains probably, but it's not even November yet. But you can get that in late October. It's not that unusual to see in the mountains. It would be unusual to see down in our area to see that. But then it moves on out, and then we have a dry Saturday, and then Sunday we're back at the chance of precipitation with the next front moving through. So let's go ahead and look at the NAM model, NAM 12 kilometer. So this is the NAM. So you can see that again, that rain that will move in, and it looks like it's generating a steady rain in the morning. I wasn't even expecting, so we might be getting a little bit of rain tomorrow in the morning again. And then it dries out, and then here comes the moisture from Zeta moving in. It's going to rain all day Thursday. NAM's and this is Friday. You can see there's that precipitation from the second low, and moving on out. And again, it's going to probably take a while to get rid of it and dry out completely. But yeah, that would bring. Let's see what the NAM has as far as the snowfall goes, and then we'll look at the total rainfall. Total snowfall, not as much. Let's look at the total rainfall, total accumulated precip. So you could see that some areas, particularly the south, could get over 2 inches of rain or more. For us, NAM is saying between 1 and 2 inches. If we look at the GFS, which I have a feeling is going to be more, yeah, GFS is a lot more, and I'm more inclined to believe the GFS as well. We'll see over 2 inches of rain, maybe 3 inches of rain in certain isolated areas. There's an area of 3 inches of rain, and then as you move north, it gets less. And I know there's a drought in New England, so a new part of New England will get this rain, but not all of it. That's still ongoing. I guess the rain that we've gotten has not made it up to northern New England, and it still doesn't look like it will. So let's look at the GFS as far as the precipitation goes. I also want to look at the temperatures, so let's do that. So again, we're going to look at the temperatures and see how our temperatures are going to be reacting, because it's going to get pretty chilly, and you'll see what I mean. So tonight, probably stay in the 50s. Tomorrow, you could see, wow, there's a real warm bubble over New Jersey. So it could be near 70 in New Jersey, but on Long Island, we would be in the upper 50s to low 60s. I don't know if this is indication of sunshine or a warm front in this area. I'll have to look at the dew points and see that for sure. here's Thursday, and you can see we're on the border. Literally, warm air to the south, cold air to the north, the moisture riding along this stall frontal boundary, which I don't even have to draw because you can see it. It's plain as day. Temperatures in the 40s, and it's going to get colder as we head into Friday. The cold air moves in, and it's going to be a cold rain in the morning. Temperatures upper 30s, low 40s, and then we're staying. We may be remaining in the 30s all day for Friday into the evening. Maybe dry, and we could drop below freezing. I'm pretty sure we're going to need freeze warnings Friday night to Saturday morning, and then Saturday we're only going to get up into the mid to upper 40s. That's it. We may not even hit 50. And then as we get into next week, there's that next front that comes in. Look at that. Again, struggling to reach even the upper 40s. So at that point, so it'll be a really good cold blast air that's going to come in. Let's go ahead and look at the dew points here. Again, because this kind of shows you where. This is another way of looking for that frontal boundary. So you see, there's the frontal boundary again. As we head into tomorrow, you will see there's a little bit of a surge of warm air that comes in, and it looks like that air makes it over to Jersey, which is why the temperature is so we're going to have this front sitting over us. Originally, we thought the front was going to be much further to the south and we'd see more sunshine, but as a result, with the front hung up here, we're not going to see any of that. It'll stay kind of cloudy, and here we go into Thursday, and there's that front just sitting there, and you can sort of see the wind barbs there. The wind's picking up, and that onshore flow, and then the dew points crash down with that cold air coming in on Saturday. Yeah, that is the GFS. We will look at the NAM as well with that. So let's look at the NAM with the dew points as well. I'm sure we'll see a similar idea as we go into tomorrow. Yep. So originally this front was supposed to go further to the south, but it gets hung up more, and it's just going to stay just to the south of the area. You can really see that stall front right there. That's why you have all the clouds and rain chances. We really thought it was going to move further to the south, but unfortunately, we're not going to dry out until we're done with all the rain that we will be getting. I do want to also look at the winds as well on this. So we're going to look at the winds as we go into Friday, and you can see some strong winds offshore there. So it's going to be breezy for sure. And I'm going to look at the GFS too on this. Let me look at the GFS as well. GFS. So this is the GFS, and you can see some pretty strong winds offshore. And there will be some strong winds offshore. It'll be pretty rough offshore. And over the east end too, it looks like it's got some strong winds as well. For some reason, keeps the higher winds away from New Jersey. And then Friday, like I said, we start to get this out of here. And then we have that high build in. So we'll now look at the sky. Skies, obviously, we got a little bit of few breaks of sun today, and just a break or two. And tomorrow, well, it'll be the same deal. Stuck in the clouds Thursday, Friday. And again, we got to wait till Saturday before we can finally get out of it. Now it's saying we may not even get out of it on Saturday. It's got some clouds over New Jersey, but it has Long Island clear. This might be an exaggeration, but then we would have to wait until later Monday into Tuesday before maybe we can break out of these clouds. It's ridiculous how little sun we're getting, and it makes you feel very run down. Let's look at the NAM. We have to get vitamin D pills. Here's the NAM. You can see plenty of clouds tomorrow, but we do get a break in the afternoon. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll have a break of sunshine, particularly on Long Island. Maybe. And then obviously the clouds roll in on us for Thursday. So let's look at the windy.com model, and we're going to go ahead and look at this and see what kind of wind gusts we'll be getting in our area from this as we head into Friday. So let me move this along. So you can see some wind gusts there. Worst of the winds are offshore, so it's not really going to be damaging winds to the point of damage, except if damaging maybe the fall foliage. But other than that, that moves on out, and then we calm down again for the weekend. So I think that's going to wrap it up. Oh, one more thing I wanted to go over before we wrap up this weather update, and that is the ice. So let's do that. I haven't updated you on that in a while, so we're going to update you on that because things are not too good up in the Arctic with that. And so I wanted to include that in this weather update as well. You will see here, these are the maps, by the way, of the ice. So there is ice regrowth, but there's been a retreat in the lap tab C, believe it or not. And this is where we're at here. This is the chart here, Arctic sea ice extent. And you will see that we have now below all the other medians now. So we're well below all the medians. We have a very slow recovery going on in the Arctic when it comes to sea ice. Where this line here, which is 2020, this is the 2012 minimum, and we're way below that. So that's this is just another sign of climate change when you see stuff like this, which is again quite disturbing to see. So and we can also look at the Greenland ice sheet today too. We can also look at that as well. Pull this up here and let's see. Look at this 2012 melt. Oh wow, we're way above it. So yeah, we're way above the median here with melt, and that is very concerning again for Greenland. And you have these tropical systems that are coming in and bringing in the heat up to the Greenland area, and that's going to cause more melt, like what we just saw with Epsilon there, which is still hanging around up there, the remnants of it. In fact, let me just pull up the MODIS satellites. You can take a look at that as well. Alright, so by the way, this is Zeta, so let's just look at the high resolution satellite, show you. This is Zeta right here. That's what it looks like on the visual high resolution satellite. And that's what's left of Epsilon right there, kind of sitting there, and it's just brought a lot of heat into the Arctic. I don't know, what is all this brown stuff over here? Is there a volcano erupting? Oh, what is this stuff? What is this brown stuff here? I don't know, what is that? See if that was there in October. I don't know what that is. You see that? You see that brown stuff? I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just an artifact of the satellite or there was some kind of volcano that erupted over here. I don't know what that is. But you can see the storm here, basically, that's sitting here. That's Epsilon. That's kind of got combined with an extratropical low. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Zeta will be making a landfall, and once it does become a hurricane again, I'll probably post another update on it. Take care, and thank you for watching.